Hello creatives, my name is Maya and today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite creative activities, candle making. Now I use creativity as a form of self-care. It's a way to de-stress and center back on myself. And because I use creativity as a form of self-care, it's the creative process that's really important to me and not the outcome itself. I find that there's a certain joy that comes with creating, even if the end result turns out to be completely terrible. And I have made my fair share of terrible candles. Just take this one for instance. I made a big batch of candles a few months ago. I had a lot of different colored waxes going on and I accidentally topped up this little tree here with yellow wax instead of green. So it came out looking a little Mutant Ninja Turtle-y, which wasn't what I was going for. Then we have this candle. It used to look a little bit prettier, but I sawed the top off in an attempt to get it to burn properly like a candle should. And you can hold the flame there forever. But in the end it just always smokes out. And then lastly, we have this snowman here. I was trying to make like Winter Wonderland, candy cane themed candle, and I mixed two wax colors together. I did a red hat here, and I added a little bit too much of the red wax, so the finished snowman came out looking a little more zombie-ish instead of Winter Wonderland. So these candles, they're pretty terrible, but I still had a ton of fun making them, and that's really all that matters. So when you're creating your own candles or your own creative products, remember that it's the creative process that really matters and not the end result itself. And don't be so hard on yourself if the candles or creative products don't turn out exactly the way you were hoping. Now I'll take you through my candle making process.
I love candle making because there's something very satisfying about melting down the wax only to reform it into something brand new. And the beauty of candles is that if you make a mistake, like I did with these 3 candles, you can just melt them down and start all over again. That's what I'm going to be doing today. Here's the top of this candle that I chopped off in an attempt to make it burn, and I'm going to be melting that wax back down today to create a duck candle in this mold right here. These are the materials you'll need for candle making: wax, of course, wicks, a mold or jar to shape your candle, metal utensils for stirring, and an old pot and a jar of some kind to melt your wax. Michaels carries a few different types of wax: paraffin wax, soy wax, beeswax, but I recommend phoning up your aunts and grannies and asking them for any old candle stubs they may have floating around in their cupboards. Here are just a few examples of candles that my mom and Oma have collected over close to 20 years. The first step in candle making is to choose a shape. I like using fun molds, but glass jars work just as well. There are really no wrong answers when it comes to candle making. Choose a shape that will bring a smile to your face. I've made little mushrooms, trees, ducks, and more. And if you choose to use a glass jar for your candle, there are still lots of ways to keep things fun and creative. You can layer different colors, let the wax harden at different angles, or add non-flammable objects like coffee beans or glass beads. Next, set up your double boiler to melt your wax. Fill an old pot about 1/4 of the way full of water and bring it to a boil. You'll want to chop your wax into small pieces while you're waiting for the water to boil, which I'll go ahead and do now. Now I will dump the chopped wax into my jar here and place it in the water to form the double boiler. We'll let this wax melt for a while. While your wax is melting, attach your wick to your mold or jar. If you're using a mold, make sure to read and follow the instructions. And finally, the wax is ready to pour. I have taped the mold up with masking tape because it's ancient, and if I don't use at least 4 layers of tape, my wax will leak out everywhere. Now I'll let the candle set.
Okay, so I've let the candle set for about 24 hours and here is the finished product. It didn't turn out perfect, it never usually does, and as you can see there's a bit of a hole here at the bottom of the candle. I must have poured the wax when it was a little bit too hot, which has formed this cavity, so next time I will just have to have more patience. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, I hope you learned something, and if you like this video, make sure to check out the other ones in our Creatives in Progress YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.